am the Irish guy, and yes, it is crunch time in the January transfer window. I mean, deals are going to have to happen now or never. So, I am taking a look at every Premier League club and predicting your next big signing before the window shuts. And lads, if I get 50% of these right, then you will have to promise to write
Irish guy is a genius
on my reactions video in February. And if I don't get any of these right, then I will eat a bag of burnt worms. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Matheus Cunha. Let's be honest, Matheus Cunha does not seem like a particularly nice guy. Come on, this is like that arrogant star player in your Sunday league team who, yes, has a silky touch and nutmegs for days, but when out in public, oh yes, he will kick pigeons and chuck wine gums at the homeless. Come on, this sparkling 25-year-old Brazilian international is supremely talented, but I will not forgive the man for snatching the glasses off a dumpy Stewart's face. It feels like it's only inside the last 6 months that people have woken up and realized that, oh yeah,
that player for Wolves actually has delicious technique. Who knew?
Acting like this man wasn't nominated for the FIFA Puskás Award 6 years ago. Was it RB Leipzig? Cunha has been a thing for a while. And yet, the one season where he shows an ugly attitude, to such a point where now is his new boss, Vitor Pereira, literally begging him to concentrate. I mean, Crespo Pereira has already expelled the club's former captain from his squads due to a poor attitude, so the last thing he needs is his best player showing the maturity of KSI chatting to Wayne Bridge. But I think, despite it being a problem child, I think a desperate Arsenal will wrangle an 11 PM deadline day deal as a direct replacement for Gabriel Jesus for about 50 million quid. Aston Villa look bad. Yeah. Aston Villa are sniffing around yet another Sevilla centre back. Yeah. After pipping Newcastle United to the signature of Diego Carlos from that Spanish club, they're now about to flush the Brazilian out to Fenerbahce. But I mean, don't feel too bad for the 31-year-old. He's off to work with one of the greatest managers of all time, lads. For some uncapped Brazilian potato, he's actually going to play it under the likes of Lopetegui, Ranieri, Emery, Mourinho, and Gerrard. Still, that's a cute little collection of big boy famous managers. But yeah, Villa are pestering Sevilla once again to rob another star centre-back, offering them £30 million for 24-year-old French defender Loic Bade, who was actually bought to replace Carlos in the first place. Honestly, Sevilla fans must absolutely hate Monkey, Villa's new sporting director, who, yes, was at Sevilla both as a player and then as a director between 1988 and 2016. And then he took a break to have a quick fling with Roma, before then was back between 2019 and 2023. And yet here he is, literally stealing Sevilla's star defenders. Honestly, those fans are gonna hate this monkey more than Draco Malfoy did in Planet of the Apes. This does feel a bit like your wife dumping you for some fat bloke in Birmingham, and then she returns to steal your dog and raid your fridge for Kit Kats. Bournemouth, Renato Vega. Renato Vega is leaving Chelsea this month. I am sure of it. I am positive. This 21-year-old Portugal international left back, don't forget, is bored. After joining from Basel in the summer, this huge, gangly, awkward-looking fullback, honestly, I don't want to seem like a stupid little mouse, but is he not too tall to play left back? Come on, he's barely smaller than Dan Burn. And I mean, seeing that basketball physique marking wingers looks about as weird as seeing the Paul brothers sitting with McGregor at the back of a bus. But yeah, this towering giant has put his foot down. He's sick of just playing Europa Conference League football against clubs who can barely afford toilets, teams who can only afford pancakes as pre-match meals. And yeah, he's currently linking the big boy switch to a monster club like Juventus, but I think that will fall through. And with just 24 hours left of the window, he will sneak a loan move to Bournemouth to try and get the cherries into the Champions League. As a midfielder, by the way. Because yes, I know Milos Kerkez is a thing. So yes, I reckon he's joining Bournemouth to nick Tyler Adams' place. And then if he impresses on loan, they'll sign him permanently in the summer to play left back and sell Kerkez. Brentford, Michael Coyote. Remember when Brentford used to get ambitious in the transfer market? Remember the fun of 2023 when they almost bought PSV's magic baller Johan Bakayoko for a club record £40 million? I mean, the Belgian winger is such a Saint-Maximin. He's got the skills, got the hair, and oh yeah, even has the word San in his name. So seeing this mini Doku in the Brentford attack would be more delicious than a banana scone. But no, Brentford are going to sign Michael Coyote from Fiorentina. A £15 million deal for this 20-year-old uncapped Italy right back. I mean, he's clearly a talent. He came through at Juventus, and he's clearly not some egotistical meatloaf who thinks he's too good for a lower league football either. Because 4 years ago, this bloke was playing in Serie D, probably marking wingers who were begging the ref for no extra time, or else they'd be late for their night shift at McDonald's. He's a decent player. Thomas Frank wants him. This deal is on. Brighton, nobody. Nah, I don't think Brighton will sign anyone. Come on, not every club is going to be active this week. Chelsea, Alejandro Garnacho. I think we're about to be in for the biggest shock of the window. Sometimes these crazy deals just happen. I mean, I remember 10 years ago thinking it was monumentally weird when Man United managed to convince Chelsea to give them one Mata mid-season. This would be just as strange. Mata did not seem like a Man United player, and Garnacho doesn't seem like a Chelsea player. But I think this will happen. New Chelsea boss Mourinho did not fancy Mata, and Amorim seems to like Garnacho's attitude about as much as he likes licking rat pee off the floor. You'd forget it because Garnacho is not a Mancunian with an Oasis haircut. He doesn't look like Brandon Williams, but he is technically a homegrown academy star. Well, I don't know, is he? Are we really still calling him that? I mean, he only joined Manchester United the same month they were losing 6-1 at home to Spurs. That doesn't feel that long ago. The kid was nearly 17, so no. Let's not call him a homegrown Man United star. Gary Neville, he's not. He is an Atletico Madrid academy graduate, okay? Let's be honest about this. He's only had an affiliation to this club for just over 4 years. So let's not overestimate his levels of loyalty, alright? I mean, Rashford has been at Manchester United 15 years longer than Garnacho. And yet he's ready for a fresh challenge. So Garnacho, I think he's off too. I mean, he's only started 1 of the last 7 league games. The last time he played more than an hour in a Premier League match was 11 matches ago. Chelsea want him. Of course they do. They get bored of wingers real quick. I honestly believe we're going to be treated to a sight that would have been a horror movie for Manchester United fans back in 2021. But yeah, both Sancho and Garnacho on the Chelsea wings. I can see a late loan deal sealed with an obligation to buy for £60 million in the summer. And maybe in the summer, Pedro Neto goes the other way. But lads, seeing him at Chelsea, woofed! This one is gonna sting. Crystal Palace LG Juff. I feel bad for this guy. Imagine being a young Senegalese wingback. You're 20 years old, seen as a big talent at Slavia Prague, and you earn a £15 million move to the Premier League. And everyone looks at you as if you just throttled a bunny rabbit on the news. El Hadji Diouf's name in English football is absolute mud. Remember that Senegal star who made the 2002 World Cup All-Star team? Named by Pelé as one of the best players in the world? He moves to England and becomes an absolute monster. Spitting at players, falling up with teammates, slagging off players with broken legs. He seemed like an absolutely horrible soul. I have no idea how he survived 6 months in the same dressing room as Roy Keane. Roy Keane actually signed this horrible man. How did Keane put up with him for even more than a month? Jupp's attitude is more disgusting than eating a Pikachu cake. I mean, come on. The levels of icing on that thing alone makes me want to get sick on my chin. So I feel really bad for his namesake, who's actually also linked with Liverpool. Don't go to Anfield, mate. Liverpool fans have been programmed to react to the name El Hadji Diouf with absolute venom. I know it's not your fault, and it's a bit like a woman matching on Tinder with someone called Ted Bundy. They might be the nicest, friendliest janitor in the world, but she still ain't going on a date with him. So I reckon Oliver Glasner wins the race for this signature, but oh boy. Just put Malik on the back of your shirt. Everton Douglas Luiz. Yeah, there's absolutely no gossip surrounding this move. So if this comes off, I would look like such a genius. But think about it. Everton have a new ownership now and have a bit of extra cash to spend. David Moyes has already called on the free kids to buy elite players for him. So I think this deal can be pulled off at the last minute. This is going to be like when a relegation started Newcastle somehow got their hands on Lyon's Brazil megastar Bruno Guimaraes. Even looking back on that January deal now, I still have no idea how Eddie Howe managed to convince him to join. So I think the Doffies will get a similar coup. A deadline day low move for Juventus outcast Douglas Luiz, who right now has been linked with his 2 former English clubs, but I don't think either move will materialize. And so yeah, David Moyes will actually stumble upon an outrageous signing. A bit like when he somehow got Leon to sell him Lucas Paqueta 3 years ago. And Luiz also has a link to Everton. His girlfriend used to play for them. So if the Toffees want to snap up this power couple from Juventus, makes sense. Fulham Emerson Royale. This might just be the most underwhelming wet vanilla signing of the month. Emerson Royale might have an incredibly impressive CV on paper. The Ronaldinho resume. A Brazilian international who's played for Barcelona and AC Milan. I mean, you'd be tricked into thinking this right back is a modern day Maicon. Nah, he's already been firmly established as a Tottenham flop, and Marco Silva still wants to buy him for Fulham. Yeah, this guy probably still has a house in London, and is probably absolutely fuming that after just 5 months at AC Milan, Sergio Conceição is already replacing him with a nearly 35-year-old Kyle Walker. Royale is probably utterly disgusted that his dream Milan move has been destroyed by this guy. He's probably more bitter at Walker than Kyle's baby mama. He'll go to Fulham and be one of the most forgettable ever loan deals. A bit like when they dragged in PSG's left-back superstar Layvin Kurzawa, and he didn't do nothing but eat cheese toasties on the bench. Leicester Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell needs a new club, and Leicester are desperate. Doesn't this just make sense? A deadline day loan move for Ben Chilwell, their homegrown left back who they sold for 50 mil? Just makes sense. Liverpool, Jamie Bino Gittins. Okay, Liverpool fans, you can stop freaking out now. I reckon FSG will pull a magic bunny rabbit out of the hat. As a result of a weird transfer merry-go-round, I reckon Borussia Dortmund will win the race for Rashford. After his best buddy Jadon Sancho will tell him what a great stepping stone the German club is for your career. And so yeah, I reckon Liverpool will sign Sancho's replacement, 20-year-old English winger Jamie Bino Gittins. A saucy left winger who's having a breakout year in Germany. 11 goals already, but for some reason, the German club are still attracted to Rashford. I don't know why. Just concentrate on the former Man City wonder kid you currently have. But yeah, I can see them thinking a megastar like Rashford will sell them a bunch of shirts in Germany and that a loan deal is too good to turn down, meaning Giddens gets a £45 million move to Anfield. I mean, come on, I think this kid knows he needs a Premier League move to get him in Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad next year. But yeah, Dortmund are about to look like really big, silly billies. Man City, Omar Mamouche. Yeah, this is the one I'm banking on. I'm certain this is happening because the man is apparently doing a medical. He's probably already going to be signed by the time I end up doing the thumbnail for this vid. Because yeah, they're tying up a £60 million move for Eintracht Frankfurt's on-fire Egyptian forward Omar Mamouche. Somebody who squeezed 34 direct goal involvements into 26 matches for Eintracht Frankfurt. People are saying Mo Salah is nailed on for a Ballon d'Or. Are you sure? Marmouche is carrying Frankfurt on his back. He's not doing this in some small Armenian village league. It's the Bundesliga. So Marmouche, are you sure about this move? Is being Erling Haaland's backup on the bench really that ambitious of a career move? We've seen both Gabriel Jesus and Julian Alvarez both get mighty sick of nibbling carrots on the bench. So yeah, this £60 million move, which will go through, I'm sure you're going to earn a fat £200,000 a week, but you're basically burning your Ballon d'Or nomination in a barbecue because 6 months worth of 15-minute cameo appearances. Oh, it's going to ruin your season, mate. But at least we all know for certain now that Egypt are definitely winning the next African Cup of Nations. Honestly, if you're an Egyptian out there, you must be mighty excited right now. Man United, Ryan at Nouri. Look, I know the sensible thing to do is to go with Leka defender Patrick Dorgu, who Manchester United really want, but apparently Napoli are going to steal in and hijack the move. Ruben Amorim's first choice for a left wing back is PSG star Nuno Mendes, but he'll cost too much. So I reckon in the last 48 hours of the window, a £30 million deal gets done for Wolves' 23-year-old left wing back Ryan Aït-Nouri. Someone who is a good player. Come on, is this that exciting? I mean, sure, it'll be Man United will have a cute little symmetry with North African wingbacks on either flank, but I don't know, he seems kind of meh. Newcastle, Fikayo Tomori. Newcastle are going to buy a centre-back. They have to, because right now, Lloyd Kelly wants to leave, and I don't blame him. Well, I don't. When he joined for Bournemouth in the summer, I massively overestimated his ability and said that he's going to be so good he would force his way into the England squad. Instead, he can barely buy a Magpie start, but weirdly, this former Bristol City defender is on the verge of a move to Juventus. Yes, Juventus, the home of legendary centre-backs. How on earth does Thiago Motta even know who this guy is? Kelly. Actual Kelly at Juventus. If I'm this man, then yes, I am absolutely trading the black and white stripes for the more famous black and white. Because this guy isn't a Newcastle fan, so yeah, go and play in Serie A. Go have afternoon tea at Del Piero's house. He must be so excited to leave. This feels like a bit like a year ago when Bayern Munich were knocking on Kieran Trippier's door and Callum Wilson had his pick of both AC Milan and Atletico Madrid. Neither player got their dream moves, and both fellas looked absolutely crushed, Wilson especially. I don't think he's ever recovered from that, and even now is probably sobbing in his bedroom, clutching his teddy bear and poking Simeone on Facebook. So come on, Eddie, you've been mates with Kelly for years now. Just grant him his dream move, and that will mean that Newcastle would have now sold 2 centre-back flops to Juventus after they ditched John Alon Boomsong to Turin in 2006. But at least then, Juve had the excuse of being in Serie B. Seriously, why do they want Kelly? Anyway, yeah, I think Newcastle will fish around for a cheap last-minute replacement. So yeah, while they're in Italy, Fikayo Tomori has been in and out of the AC Milan defense this season. They might need to free up some wages to make room for Walker's monster demands. I mean, come on, the bloke is juggling a divorce. So yeah, I can see a last-minute loan deal. Get Tomori to Tyneside and suddenly 3/4 of Newcastle's back four will have spent a combined 40 years at Chelsea. That's nuts. Nottingham Forest, Ryan Shirky. They're Nottingham Forest fans. Are you happy now? I clearly can't hate you that much. I can slip a wonder transfer for Nottingham Forest. This makes sense. Remember a couple of years ago when they first got promoted and gave off a huge whiff of being the next QPR when they tried to sign half the globe? Honestly, when they bustled Jay Links through the door. Remember they were also linked with mega ambitious moves for both Hassan Mawar and Ryan Shirky. 2 Leon Wonder kids. Yeah, Awar's hype has since melted into a muddy puddle and he's since cancelled his European career, but Shirky, this 21-year-old winger, has come back into form at Leon, and with the club being told that they need to sell and get money through the door or they'll be relegated by a judge, then yeah, they've agreed to sell Shirky for a cut price £20 million this month. This would be a coup. But lads, Forest sit third in the biggest league in the world. Shirky has not played Champions League football since he was 16. For one of the biggest young stars in the world, it is mental how he's only played half an hour in that competition. If Nuno Santo could convince him, then yeah, I think this is realistic. Southampton, Albert Grandbach. Yeah, Southampton are closing in on 23-year-old Danish midfielder Albert Grandbach. But I mean, who cares? This round midfielder is clearly signing up for championship football, so I can already tell he's got the ambition of a shrimp. Next, Tottenham Ansu Fati. Lads, I can just smell it, okay? Tottenham needs signings. So many signings. This month they're 15th in the league. Ange Postecoglou has already thrown Timo Werner under a bus. And the club have sniffed around Marcus Rashford, so it's no secret. They want a left winger. And don't forget, 18 months ago, they were so close to pinching Barcelona wonderkid Ansu Fati on loan, only for Brighton to sneak in and ruin their fun. Fati was a Brighton flop, and this 22-year-old is now basically a ghost story told to Lamine Yamal. This is what's going to happen to you if you don't eat your vegetables. Fati has basically become the Giovanni Dos Santos to the Lionel Messi. And well, Dos Santos wound up at Spurs too. I can see it. I can see a desperate 11th hour loan move wrapped up for this kid. I mean, I'm sure Postecoglou is sick of being the only fatty at Spurs. Okay, I'm sorry, that was me. And to be honest, if this deal goes through, I reckon Spurs should try and annoy Arsenal fans by making Ansu stick Vieira on the back of his shirt. West Ham, John Duran. Aston Villa want £80 million for John Duran, which is nuts because he nearly joined Chelsea for half that a year ago. But look, West Ham are clearly obsessed with this Colombia beefcake striker. Yeah, I reckon both clubs will eventually settle on a £70 million deal this week. Something that is too good for Villa to turn down. Wolves, Daniel Podence. Yeah, surely Vitor Pereira is going to buy someone from his previous club, Al Shabab, right? And guess what? Saucy little playmaker he snatched up in September. Yeah, Portuguese baller Daniel Podence from Wolves. Come on, as a last-minute deadline day deal to recover from selling Cunha. Yeah, I reckon he asked his former club for a favour and bags this bloke on loan. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know what do you think. Let me know. Are you happy with these signings if they came off? Let me know in the comments. Who do you want? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click subscribe. I'll talk to you in a while.